Come, have a seat, mute your microphones. In the meantime, I'm Yannis Haralambidis. Hello, I'm talking to you from the University of the Aegean in Samos. And we welcome you. I welcome you on behalf also of all the consortium to this PROMETHEUS Information Day. So it's already 6 minutes after 5 o'clock, but we will show the curve of you coming and joining. And we said the optimal time would be now. Recording has started. This will be a recorded session because we can even make some parts of it available over the internet. Let's see if we have anything else. Have a seat. As we said, we're going to have to pass together. We have said about 3 hours with a break in the middle, but we'll see. We might not go that far. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If you are engaged and if you are really willing to participate, and if all of us want it, we can go up to 18 CET, so 7 o'clock in the afternoon, Athens time. If someone wants to say something at this very beginning, or to write something, maybe that will be most proper, because we are already 60 of us, 58 I see here. I don't know if I see them all, Michali, or not.
Yeah, you are seeing all.
Okay, great. So, Michali, can you show us the picture of the kickoff to get to know each other in the meantime?
I don't have it.
See people. Okay, leave it there. We'll show it later. Okay. Panayotis will show it later. I think we should start. It's already 8 minutes after 5, after 3 o'clock. So, welcome all. This is the PROMETHEUS Information Day. We're very glad to have you here with us. We are a little bit more than 60 participants and still joining. I saw people I know. I saw people I've never had the chance to meet before, and I enjoy both of these opportunities. We are here today with, we are 8 partners in the consortium, so you will meet several of us during the day today, unfortunately or fortunately online. And let's start. So PROMETHEUS, let me take the screen now. Okay, we already have something happening in the chat. Okay, taking place in Athens. This is the news already. No, this is the picture from continue. Yes. Okay. Yep. Okay. We have several things going on at the same time. So this is the picture of the kickoff meeting in Athens, to see how it looks like for the partners, how many partners and how many people in the team, etc. So, as I said, welcome. This is the agenda. I'm Yannis Haralambidis from the University of the Aegean. I'm very glad to have you here today with us. And in this first part, we're going to present to you a little bit about the projects, and then the training material and activities that we do together, and the several infrastructures or platforms or tools we have built. And at the end of this session, we'll have the chance to address to you a few questions, maybe 3 questions we have to address to you about what you like about our tools and how you would like them to evolve maybe, or if you have any other ideas. So, of course, you're open to have any kind of question at the end of this session. And then the similar will happen in the next part. We have a very important presentation, because here we build on the how we build our network. So this is mostly important, I think. The second part is most important, actually, but you need to know a little bit about the first part. So the second part will say about the network and what you can do with us inside the EIP or outside in the world, and what we have in mind for 2022. So how we can work together, and this is how we will close with you again, giving us ideas on how we can work together. Of course, if you stop contributing, we will take over and we'll start asking you questions and giving you some further input on that. Luckily, this will finish, as you see, a little bit before 18 CET. Okay, thanking you again. Now, these are the partners of the Prometheus project. This is a consortium that was formed within 2021, but includes people that and organizations that knew each other and units that knew each other a long time ago. So we have 5 universities from Greece. This is Aegean and Patras. From Italy, La Sapienza, University of Twente in the Netherlands, and University Kyrillos and Methodius in North Macedonia, Skopje. So these are the 5 HEIs, as we say, the higher education institutes. And then we have also 3 important partners, 2 of them coming from the research area. Also, you know, social innovation, I would say, in general for ERFC, an organization in Greece, and also a research center in Romania, in Bucuresti. And finally, we have a company, One Enterprise, which is a software services, but in the area of digital government in general. So, and a good footprint in open innovation projects. So Crowd Policy is joining with us from Athens as well. You have the chance in the second part to hear a little bit of the representatives that are not going to speak so much during the agenda. So in the second part of the information day today. Then it's important to say that we have a network of partners which is still growing, that we call associated partners, and these associated partners form the Prometheus Network. And the offering of this for this network, we are going also to present in the second part. Of course, offering, you have to agree to have in mind, is not only offering for organizations, but is an offering also for mentors, for fellow professors that want to share student teams and projects and meeting and lectures one another. So this is the idea of, in the second part, presenting you a little bit of our offering. One of that refers to the associated partners as organizations. And you see, we have already a few universities, more enterprises, research institutes, public bodies, and collective organizations. Some of you here today are also a representative, and we will try today to show you what we do with each one of these groups so that you understand how you can engage with Prometheus. This will be the topic of my talk in the second part. So these are the strong skills, and another thing that makes us work together so flawlessly up to now is that we share some common skills. So we have at least 4 partners in the consortium that have strong digital skills, meaning we can develop platforms, prototypes, tools, whatever, applications. And today you will see already within 4 or 5 months how we have progressed towards this. Of course, this is not yet open to everyone, but soon it will be available to many more. Of course, always first to our associated partners, our mentors, our fellow professors. What is the time? Is 16:15. I think this is good. This is okay for the moment. You're going to dive now into the tools experience with my fellow Francesco. Francesco will make a rule so that you open your camera and I close mine. This is the rule for the handover. And Antonio also I see from the University of La Sapienza.
Yes, I'm here.
In Rome.
I'm here also with Fabrizio De Scienzo, that is the Dean of Economics at the University of Rome.
And connected with me, there is either the Dean of the Engineering Faculty, Professor Antonio D'Andrea.
Yes, as we speak, this is nice because as we speak, we also present our organizations. So also from the University of so that we get it over with Aegean and La Sapienza, and we don't come back to that. To present our organizations from the University of the Aegean, it's also a collective approach between at least, as the project was saying, as the program was saying, at least 2 universities, excuse me, at least 2 departments. So from University of the Aegean, we have the Department of Information Systems, this is mine, and then we also have the Department of the Environment, which is Dimitris. Dimitri, if you want to open your camera to just say hello from, this is also, you gain another island, because Dimitris is based in Lesbos.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, so we are heading the 2 teams collaborating under the Aegean umbrella, as Antonio and Francesco are also heading a few teams on the other side. So let's not take any more time. Francesco, let's dive into the infrastructure experience of Prometheus. Okay, the prototype of the infrastructure.
Okay, so from here, from La Sapienza, from reigning Rome, we are from the Faculty of Economics and the Department of Management, from the Faculty of Engineering, and the Antonio, do you want to say exact name of your department? Because it's quite
chemical engineering, materials, and environment.
And also we have the Faculty of Computer Science and Statistics, and the incubator of the university that is called Saperi & Co. So these are the participants from our university. Let's go to the infrastructures, to the tools that we are developing for the project. I'm going to share my screen now. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, very well.
Okay, because I don't see it. Okay, so why I don't see it? Okay, so we have
Sorry, we don't see your presentation.
Actually, we see your laptop, not your presentation.
Okay.
Or email.
Okay, now
it's better. Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm going to present 2 out of the 3 tools that we are developing for Prometheus. One is called the Prometheus Intelligence System, and the other one is what we call the knowledge base. This is actually the look and feel of the 2 for the moment. And the Prometheus Intelligence System is a toolkit that helps accompany innovators and startuppers in testing their innovation and their business idea against a possible, let's say, go-to-market. Of course, there is an easy-to-use interface, and it works, and we will see better, as a question. While the Prometheus knowledge base is an aggregator, basically, of information and topics, and is a specialized aggregator, because we want to, and we are working to train it in order to gather all the news information hints that may be useful for entrepreneurs and innovators. So let's go in depth through with the short description of the tools. So who can use the Prometheus intelligence system? It can be, of course, startups, scale-ups, spin-off, depending also from the stage of development of the innovation and the with respect to the capability to stay on the market. SMEs, and of course researchers, academic staff, as well as students and all the other innovators that are not classified within this list. So basically everyone who wants to develop a business project based on innovation and technologies. What the intelligence assistant does? Basically, it helps to evaluate the efficiency of the innovation project, making a kind of self-assessment. Because of course, nobody of us as partners of the Prometheus project will go to extract information from the intelligence assistant, but is a tool for the user. Okay, we will use the information gathered at a higher level, doing some let's say summaries and using the information at the aggregated level for statistics and so on. But the tool is for the users that can go back on the tool and update it in order to understand which are the developments of the business idea. And the aim is to plan also the future activities according to the evaluation. The tool is also conceived in order to indicate which are the weak points and the strong points of the company, and to improve the weaknesses, for example. The knowledge base, as I said, is another tool that is to for the continuous update of the innovators about opportunities, about new technologies, about the latest trends, and also about activities and events such, for example, the one of today. So the intro is there. Now I'm going to go out in order to re-enter the tool and start from the beginning. Okay, this is what you see when you enter the tools. And
Francesco, may I say in the meantime, because a few people have entered during the last couple of minutes, that we are looking now at one of the Prometheus tools, one of the platforms we have been developing. And this one is about evaluating, having some impact assessment of your idea, your business idea. So one of the things that we're doing is that our students of the collaborating universities are developing ideas that they can now process with this tool. And this is one of the 4 tools of the 3 that we will show you within this first session.
Okay. Yep. So this is the what you can get when you enter the tool, and this is a, let's say, an informative section where the tool requires to enter, say, the name of the project. We call even is a research project or is a startup. We call it project, and there are then some specifications for startups and SMEs, entering also the basic information. So the date of beginning of the activities and so on. This is very easy, nothing really to say about this. The important information that you can enter if you received already a grant, for example, in order to develop some activities. The other information that is asked here is about the partners, for example. And here I put the name of 3 of the partners of Prometheus, but of course you can have, for example, a kind of integrated supply chain in your business where you need to have the collaboration of some other partners, so you can enter their names here. Here there is the information about the eventual engagement in other EU-funded projects, and if there are agreements with the external organizations that can contribute to the development of the innovation. The same for let's say the collaboration with other projects, with other, for example, with other startups. For example, if your startup works in an ecosystem where there are interrelation between companies. Then, important, which are the categories, at least, of the end users that you expect to have. And finally, the information about the management and monitoring system that you may have, and of course, is it suggested to have in a company, even though still at the beginning of its work. Then, after having inserted the basic information about the company, there is another section that is really important because here you have to define which are your outputs. So basically, which are the products that you are developing. You may have, let's say, main products and also additional products that are, let's say, a sub-result of your innovation activities, but anyway, can find a way to be marketed, to go on the market. And we ask you here also to indicate which is the level of maturity of each product, taking into account which is still the dimension of activities that are needed for bringing this product to the market. And of course, a trivial question: do you think to sell your project output? Of course, better to save and go to the next section, where here you can notice that you have the 2 products that, in this example, we inserted. Okay, and this opened a questionnaire for each of the 2 products in order to understand which is the shape of the product, which are the partners that contribute, if any, of course, that contributed to this product. So to understand in full which is the state of the art. So there is a clear owner, one or multiple owners, and if there are multiple owners, who are these owners of the project? Because there are, when you are developing an innovation, of course, there are also implications given by the IPRs, for example, on patents on the specific products. A short description, and then we, if you are familiar with the business model canvas, for example, you should recognize something that comes exactly from the business model canvas. There are some questions that invite you to understand which is the value proposition of the innovation that you are developing. And for example, the reason why customers should buy your product, because it's new, because it proposes a new process, or is a new organizational method, and so on. And then there are a number of additional questions that help you to understand, for example, which is the dimension of the market, which is the state of the market in terms of maturity, if it's an emerging market or a mature one, and which are the dynamics and so forth, because it's a quite time-consuming activity, but it's an activity that helps you to reflect on your business and to understand as much as possible in depth the characteristics of your business. This is replicated for any of the innovation. Plus, there are specific section under the innovation one still about the exploitation potential, the technology readiness. For example, the capability of the service product to be connected with the other external products. For example, if we talk about software through APIs, for example, so to be integrated with other systems, in order also to understand if the kind of approach used for the innovation, if we are using a closed approach or an open approach. And finally, for this section, some questions about, specific question about the management of the IPRs. Let's go then to the economic section, where again the dimensions are the ones of the outputs that we declared, and here there is the cost analysis, for example, of the components of the product, in terms of also yearly perspective of the cost development. And here you can add all the items that you believe are important in order to build a proper business plan of the activity, because these items will be used also for calculating the return on investment, for example, of your project. So here there is a detail that helps you in the analysis, and also here you can find the design of the market that you are going to face. It will be a niche market, a mass market, and a segmented market, a diversified one. Of course, the market can have different connotations, and for each of them you may add a row and define dimension, market share, annual increment, and the way how you think to get paid, which are the revenue models that you are going to use, as well as the price for each of them.
Francesco, maybe we proceed with also the knowledge base soon.
Yeah, okay. I'm going just to the last session and show you which are the final results of this exercise. there is also a social dimension that has to be explored. You know that now, finally, ESG topics are becoming more and more important already in the evaluation of a company. So we take care also of this. Then, after having completed this exercise, you can run the assessment and go to the report that are produced. There is a total score, and there are the sub-indices that are along the three dimensions that we already explored, that are innovation, social, and economic. And here you can see in detail, also by a larger collapsing, which are the single score that you got in this exercise under the different dimension, and go there in order to understand which are the weaknesses and the strengths of the project. Lastly, the last output is the help. Now it's not filled in completely, so you don't get anything here, but it helps you also to build a business model canvas for both of the outputs that were declared. Okay, then let's move to the knowledge base that I have, that you can find here on the PROMETHEUS website. And I said this is an aggregator of news, and also, of course, can be fed by PROMETHEUS partners in order to add what they think is useful for the aim. It's a thematic platform, and that gather information from selected channels that can be from Twitter, that can be from Facebook, from let's say the most well-known social networks, for example, or also RSS feed, for example, and web pages. And you see here that you have an always updated information, because the news here are very recent, and you can come back in time and finding older news on a topic. Then there are some search facilities, for example, by using tags or following people. I want to know everything that was published by this startup magazine, and here I make very simply a selection of all the news that were published in since from the platform was on, and this is very easy and very useful to be updated and have just one, let's say, point where to look at the information about, in this case, the topics of entrepreneurship and innovation. So that's it for these two tools. Now I leave the floor to Panagiotis Keramidis, that is going to present the third tool, the third platform that will be soon integrated in the PROMETHEUS overall platform together with these two tools. So Panagiotis, the floor is yours. I'm going to
thank you very much.
stop my camera and
okay, let me share my screen. Okay, thank you very much once again. I hope you can see my screen. I will briefly present a few things about the PROMETHEUS Entrepreneurship Acceleration Platform, and then we will proceed to the demonstration of the platform briefly. What exactly we are presenting here is a platform, a software, an online software platform that enables the innovation and entrepreneurship activities that fall under the scope of the PROMETHEUS project. These activities could be competitions or provision of educational material or other events and activities. The community of the platform, the users, consist of students, young entrepreneurs, universities, higher education institutions, and research institutions, companies, public authorities, professionals and practitioners in the domain of innovation and entrepreneurship, and a plethora of others. Just to give you an overview of the architecture and the structure of the platform, we can see this image. The entrepreneurship and acceleration platform can be, and its facilities can be divided into three main functions: the support of ideas, the support of needs, and the provision of educational material in the aspects of innovation and entrepreneurship. The first pillar, let's say, the ideas, might be either business ideas or ideas for actions with social impact, and they can both be subject of competitions. The business ideas can be fueled by the business needs provided by the existing organizations and businesses who will declare their needs so that they can be met by the startups. And also there is a crowdfunding opportunity in the platform to be. So what exactly constitutes a business idea? Well, we could assume that it is a submission of a plan or an idea on which a company will be formed that answers the needs of some thematic categories, such as sustainable development, climate change, smart manufacturing, and others. The teams that will provide the business ideas can be on different categories. For instance, they can be young students, young entrepreneurs, and members of European universities. They can be young researchers or already formed research teams from European universities. And of course, they can be citizens of European countries. Usually the business idea is presented in 2 or more phases. The first is somewhat more comprehensive, providing an overview of the idea and its aim, and later the full business plan is provided. The ideas can be submitted to a competition or not submitted in a competition, and throughout the process they are assisted by mentors who will help the teams to develop their ideas. The ideas will be rated by the evaluators who will decide if the idea is feasible and innovative. And of course, one of the most prominent aspects of the digital software platform is that it provides the opportunity for collaborations and meeting up new members for the team throughout the community. For instance, if a team decides that they need a software developer, they can find him or her through the platform. So in a similar note, there are the business needs or organization needs, which are needs and declarations that are provided by the existing businesses and organizations that hope to be met by the emerged business ideas and startups from a competition or otherwise. The community of the Prometheus Entrepreneurship Acceleration Platform is diverse. For one thing, we have members, which are the users of the platform who can submit ideas, they can submit comments, they can interact and communicate and participate in the activities. Additionally, there are the mentors, which are the experienced individuals who will assist the ideas to their development. The evaluators, who, as we said, are the members of the judging committee that will decide and that will rate the ideas. The angel investors, which are individuals who are interested in supporting the newly merged ideas. The sponsors, who support the Prometheus facilities and activities, and they can also provide some support to the teams as well. The companies and the organizations that can provide the business needs, the existing business needs, so that they will be met by the startups. The venture capitals, who will also support the business ideas after the competition. And of course, the incubators and accelerators that will expand the capabilities of the business ideas towards their actual implementation. So without any delay, let's move to the demonstration. So as you can see, the Prometheus platform is something like this in the appearance. You can, once you are registered and sign in using either your email or your social media accounts, you can see also your profile. But let's see the actual capabilities of the platform. The existing form of the platform supports the business needs and the business ideas. So if one would like to see the already submitted business ideas, which at the time are about 25 business ideas already submitted, he or she can look at the business ideas page. This page,
if you allow, just to connect to the ones that came later, these business ideas are being developed during the collaboration of the Prometheus partners. So in the next presentations, you will see how they appear, how then we go back to how we make them somehow.
Yes, and also if one can see the business ideas, he or she can also see more specific types of ideas. For instance, if I want to see only the business-to-business ideas, the presentation of the ideas is more limited. And of course, there are also other filters as well. For instance, we can include only the advertising and marketing business ideas. One business idea is presented in a separate page that includes the categories and the details, but also the specific description of the idea and its offering. Additionally, there is the provision and the enhancement of the sustainable development goals that this idea describes. And let's see how exactly we can submit a business idea. So you need to be signed in so you can submit your business idea. The first...
Maybe Panagiotis, you show us just the most important couple of things here.
Yes.
So during the end, let's say the needs and the sustainable development.
Yes, indeed. The details are what could be expected for a business idea. The most intriguing factor of this submission of the idea is that it enables the collaboration of the members of the platform. So the team can select to provide the kind of need that they are seeking. For instance, they need a new member in the team, and they describe the role of the new member and the contribution, the benefits they will enjoy. And of course, there is the possibility of declaring the Sustainable Development Goals contribution of the business idea, for instance, zero hunger, and we can type our contribution there in order to be more specific. Let's see the business needs. So these are the existing businesses and organizations needs that are already being submitted in the system. Once again, the page of the business needs contains filters, so we can choose to present only specific needs. And once again, the need has its own separate page, so one can see the description, the type, and the title, and of course to express their interest to meet and to collaborate with the person who submitted the need. And of course, there is the separate business need submission page with all the information details. And of course, the platform provides detailed information about the community, the project, the already existing startups, the mentors, the incubators that are collaborating, and of course the other aspects of the project and the news of the project. So,
okay, Panagiotis, I think.
Yes. Yes.
It's time to move.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe we have time later. I was thinking if someone wants to stay over the break, something that we sometimes do also in the meetings, Panagiotis can dive a little bit deeper, or if you want someone else from the tools, if someone stays during the break and ask about such things. The other just mute and get away and stop also the microphone and the speaker. Okay, so as you understand, let me just orient you a little bit now to where we are. We are having a look at the first thing that we decided to show you about Prometheus, this project that runs under the EIT umbrella, and will be running until the end of, until the mid of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. We ran already for 4 months, and we are presenting our first prototype, and then we call you also for collaboration. This is the meaning of the information day. So we started a little bit introverts, but we will come back to that. So we saw about the intelligent assistants and the knowledge base, which is together with the entrepreneurship acceleration platform, is the triangle that produces the new ideas. Currently, we have deployed such tools, but also we have deployed some training, most importantly, to a set of students in several universities. And you saw that already we have 25 proposals, like ideas in this phase, that sooner or later will become more concrete pitch decks, or maybe business plans, you might say. Evaluated some of them during the project. Now we move to the last presentation of this session, which is the MOOC, the area of training, I would say. So I stop sharing my screen and I invite my colleague and friends, fellow professor from the University of Patras, Michalis Kornaros. Michael, as we do, you can say also a few words about your team and
Yes.
the participation of the University of Patras, so that we don't have to do it later.
Of course. Thank you, Yanis. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it, not in full present. Now it's in full presentation. Great.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Kornaros from the Department of Chemical Engineering at the University of Patras. We are glad to have you here in this first info day on the Prometheus project. As Professor Haralabidis said previously, from the University of Patras, we collaborate with another department, the Department of Computer Engineering, and we collaborate together into this project. So as the University of Patras, we're in charge of developing the training material. So our main target, as you can see here, is to develop a new teaching curricula for pre or postgraduate level, which is focused on digital transformation and circular economy subjects, which, as you can see here, are spread into various disciplines. So you can see that we share climate change, bioeconomy, environmental protection, smart manufacturing, and so on. So in this first phase of our project, we are developing the structure of this new curricula. And later on the second phase, from the new year, we're going to develop the real material in this curricula. What we develop has to do with several massive open and online courses. Each one of these courses on the different subjects that I presented previously, it's more or less of one ECTS, which means that it covers a spectrum of about 20 hours as a teaching material, and also includes 10 hours approximately of study. And each one of these MOOCs contains approximately 8 modules plus self-assessment for each module, and perhaps an assignment for the evaluation of the reader who uses this material. Of course, in order to be this material not be appealing for the user, it will contain images, videos, animation, audio, and so on. I'm going to give you just an example of these MOOCs that we're developing. It has to do with the environmental protection. And as you can see here, we are using a 3-level taxonomy for each subject. So the main target for each of the subjects is spread into approximately 8 modules. You can see here for the subject of environmental protection, for those that who are familiar with the subject, we can see that it contains parts like sustainable development, what is the legislation for the European Union, what are the different types of waste and wastewater, treatment valorization methods, and so on. And of course, at the end, some case studies are included for giving real examples of how this subject can be applied in real cases. So what we can see here is what we vision to develop within Prometheus. We are targeting to develop more or less a challenge specialization that can be used in different curricula in pre-graduate studies or in master programs and so on. And each of these specializations is going to include 3 MOOCs and a capstone project. Since we are targeting on digitization and entrepreneurship, we're thinking of having in all these cases, one of the MOOCs that is dealing with entrepreneurship and innovation, accompanied by 2 other MOOCs, which can be selected from a pool of these 6 MOOCs that we are going to develop. So it has to do with the different departments or master programs and so on, which of these MOOCs are needed in order to formulate the specialization. So it can be selected environmental protection and digital transformation, plus, of course, this MOOC that targets to innovation and entrepreneurship. So we formulate more or less 5 ECTS Prometheus course, which will be accompanied by a capstone project. And in fact, this capstone project is going to be in close linkage with the tools that are already presented to you. So some of the best ideas that are going to be developed within this capstone project can be fed into the assessment tool or into the acceleration platform that Panos a little while ago presented. On the other hand, since the acceleration platform can also contain ideas and the needs from the part of enterprises or other organizations, such ideas can be fed into this capstone project and can be used as target in order to use the material that has been developed in order to carry on and develop a new idea, a new business idea for this capstone project. So we can see here some examples, some ideas that are spread on the different thematic areas. In terms of climate change, for example, climate mitigation or climate adaptation, climate sustainability. You can see subjects like a bio-based economy or agriculture and so on. So these can be some of the ideas that can be used as targets for developing new capstone projects within this overall Prometheus course. So right now we have developed indeed quite a few collaborations between training collaborations between the HAYs that participate in Prometheus. So you can see here that we have already done exchanges either in terms of physical presence or in terms of online lectures that are given between the different HAYs which participate in the project. So the idea and what we really urge you to do for the next month is who is going to be the next collaborator for this Prometheus vision, who is going to collaborate with us, either it's a teacher or a researcher or a faculty member who wants to participate in the development of these courses by, for example, providing open material that lies within the subject areas we saw earlier, or he or she is willing to provide lectures to the participating departments and be a real part in the Prometheus ecosystem. So thank you all, and I'm here if you have any questions. Regarding the so far training activities, I think that Panagiotis Kinanalis from the crowd policy is here and he can present some real cases of what is going on till now. Panagiotis?
Thank you, Michael. Hello from Athens. Let me just share my screen. So I will be showing you just a few examples of what we have been doing so far. Professor Yannis Charalambidis began his class on digital innovation and entrepreneurship. It was an important one, especially after the COVID era, with many students coming back to the classrooms. So it was the kind of kickoff of the teaching activities. On one more collaboration within the consortium, We had Michael Tsalidas from Crowd Policy, the managing director, visiting the class of Mr. Harlabidis and answering the 20 questions to a young entrepreneur, transferring experience to the students from his extensive work as a managing director through Crowd Policy and previously as a C-level executive on many digital transformation projects, so also thematically within the scope of the project. University of Sapienza has been very active with many visiting lectures, one from Konstantina Tsigu from the University of Patras, working within the laboratory of Professor Michael Kornaros. It also had to do with gender equality in engineering and entrepreneurship, so it's quite a significant issue to showcase different points of view from the genders within the scientific community. Recently we had more than 100 students being shown the acceleration platform. So we also had them, Professor Harlabidis had them to register, create their profiles, create teams, assemble teams, and start uploading their business ideas. Dr. Efthymios Konstantinidis is also visiting Professor Harlabidis' class on digital innovation and entrepreneurship. So many more activities to come. Francesco Bellini also hosting many interesting lectures. Today's lecture was on with Dr. Francesca Camanelli, specifically on fintech and how it can be digitally transformed within a series of visiting lectures. So that has been our recent collaborations until we have the MOOCs going on. So we have specific educational material.
Thank you, Panagiotis. Maybe you say a few words about the team in Crowd Policy and your role in the project.
Sure. We are predominantly occupied with the dissemination of the project. We will show the website and our official social accounts later on within our information day. We also collaborate with the University of the Aegean on the acceleration platform using our experience on open innovation. We have more than 30 crowd hackathons and also acceleration projects before. So we have turned that into a more permanent digital platform along with the University of the Aegean. Active on the dissemination also. Our company, George Karamanolis and Michael Tsalidas, the two founders, have been really active on open innovation and many significant digital innovation projects within Greece regarding clarity, open data, and many big projects. So they have transferred all that experience into a business venture successfully within the last years. So that's our contribution, being the SME of the project.
Okay, thank you, Panagiotis. So this concludes this morning session, the first session in this afternoon. And we showed you some of the things we do. We have more to show you in the second part. But let's now take a breath, a deep breath. We will take a deep breath now. And the question is to you. We presented some things. What would you like to do now? Do you have any questions maybe on that? Do you have any ideas? This is how we have been trying to work. You have to understand, while developing also, or modifying, integrating existing ideas. And this has led us to having already 25 ideas. We have a couple of lessons and universities entering this platform, and we find it useful because we solve the problem of collaborating through the platform. I have my lesson, Valentina has her own lesson in Skopje, I am in Samos, but our students find some matches. So the one says, I need a programmer to make a kind of prototype, and the other guy says, I could do that. My professor would accept that as my contribution. If the whole thing is accepted by Valentina, I will get also the proper rate as my project for the Aegean. And then I will have also to have my exam. These kind of things, or we exchange, we exchange now lecturing a little bit more than we did before, and we enjoy it. 2 or 3 times we have in each semester invited professors from the network. And of course, now the network we want to enlarge so that to have also more options and maybe less effort also for each one of us. That's it. Any ideas, any questions, any contributions? Okay. Now let's see. Okay, we have plans for that also. With Francesco, we have been discussing about this workshop. So we enter the workshop now, since there are no discussion here. We are now somewhere here. We have to finish by 15:30, which is 16:30 CET, which is in another 20 minutes. Yeah, I think this is enough for a discussion that will be a little bit more moderated now and assisted by tools, but still it would be an interaction. And we prepared 2 mentees for you. Now, a colleague of ours, which is another Michalis Loutsaris, will now post in the chat. So if you enter your chat window, you will see now the latest post of Michalis. I go also on that, in case some of you are without any access to a computer right now, but you can just see, and this will open this. And this is our first question then for you. We have 65, 66 people in the room. So we would like you to rate, okay, but let's promise we will give 110, up to 110, up to 2 5s, and then the one that is not interesting to you at all, let's put it in 0. So you have this kind of limits, but please, I mean, this is not acceptable, this one. This one, it should not be acceptable. So we limit to this type of thing. Or maybe this is also acceptable. You see? Okay, Michali, how many answers do we have already?
2.
You can post in the chat, you can speak.
3 right now.
We need more, we need more. Let me submit mine, but I will close my screen. I will stop sharing. I don't want to.
Don't be shy.
No, because if you see me, then.
No, not you. I mean, not you. I mean the participants.
Yes.
Then
yes,
leave it.
Please. 15 right now. 16.
Okay. For the ones that do not know what to do, we just press on the link that is the latest link in the chat. The one sent by IS Lab. This is our information systems laboratory, University of the Aegean. You just press on this link and then you go to Menti and you just rate the 4 things that we have presented, which is the MOOC that is coming, the acceleration platform where students can put ideas, the knowledge base, which is this aggregator of content on entrepreneurship in universities, and our own news, of course. And lastly, the intelligent assistance, which is the system that you can evaluate an already formed proposal. And we ask your rating. So, Michalis, you can show us. Yeah, Michalis, you can show us now.
Okay.
You can comment.
Let me share.
Someone wants to comment because he supports something and he doesn't see it represented or she doesn't see it here, you are allowed also to comment.
Okay. Now you can show the results.
Yes, yes, we can
Okay,
see
perfect.
that. We have 33 answers. Yes, it's not a definite result because all of the options are, I would say, quite useful as presented. Yeah, the acceleration platform maybe shows a little bit more interesting. And then the training is a little bit better than the knowledge base is maybe the last. Yeah. In mind that all the yeah, Panagiotis is showing is the link where you can find the prototype versions of those. And of course, you can join many of them. The acceleration platform you can join tomorrow, today, now. You can find through the link that Panagiotis sent. Okay. Now, I think this goes well. Someone wants to comment on something or wants to contribute something that was not here, maybe in the chat or elsewhere. Okay, no worries. With Francesco, we have made ways to, we have thought of ways to get your collective wisdom somehow. So, Michali, let's move now. I will take the screen because you will just send the second questionnaire, which is now a little bit more, I will need a little bit more of your contribution because the question, okay, Michali, have you sent the, okay, that's the link.
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. So let me now share my screen. Okay. Yes, and this is now a question that will require you to write something. It says, which other process? I mean, we showed you some things about supporting training, supporting formal education within the university, you know, supporting also this description of the business plan in Business Canvas or elsewhere, evaluating, having some knowledge base. We are thinking still there. These kind of things. And the question is, okay, that's one thing, maybe. That's a very, very small subset of what is to support entrepreneurship and innovation within universities. What would you do and what would you like to be covered by a platform? Because some of you might have a different application in mind or something that is very important if it can be supported by a tool. And then we ask you to write there your idea. I would like, for example, myself to support this kind of thing. I wrote mine. Michali, how many we have ideas?
8.
8. Okay, enough to start showing.
Okay,
We still no. Wait a little bit more. Wait a little.
Okay,
bit.
okay.
So I just sent one. So I stop sharing. And Okay, now you can share the screen, Michali, with the answers. And now it's like a post-it session. If we were in Samos or elsewhere in Heidelberg or everywhere, we will go places now, wait. If we were in a place now, in a real meeting, we would ask you to come and say a few words, stand actually, not even come. So let's pick a couple. Financial instruments, available funds, exchange of competencies, search of skilled personnel. Okay, some counseling with technology, engineer experts, sandbox APIs. Yes, this is quite a bunch. Michali, can you also scroll down? Okay, circular market analysis, connect with projects. Okay, let's take one. Let's go a little bit back, Michali, a little bit back on the upper line. Okay, stop here. No, go down one. Okay, the red one. Support research for master and doctoral theses. Connect business with students on their research. Who wrote about masters and doctoral theses and how we can do it through a platform? Can you stand and support it? Okay, let's try another one. This was not taken in mind. Michali, can you tell us who wrote this? No. Let's try this.
It's on chat. Yeah, it's on chat.
It's on chat.
Natasha said that she wrote.
Yeah, hello. Should I unmute my microphone?
Natasha, hello.
Hello, sure, I can support my opinion.
That's sure. Where did you come from?
I come from University of San Cyril and Methodius from the Institute of Economics.
Great. And what is your role there?
I am professor. I work with master and doctoral students, researcher.
Great, great. So the question is that this would be a good candidate to do something with a, next generation tool or platform, or I don't know. How would you like that? How had you
Well, it would be great if he or she could be connected with a concrete business so he can do the research on the spot. That was my idea.
Yeah, like to have the needs of the businesses or the subjects they want to study more.
Yes.
And then contribute and spread it within the network. Yeah, we already have, as I showed before, maybe 30, 40 enterprises. So we can ask them, give us a few subjects in a way that we can understand and realize what exactly is the subject and what is needed maybe here. And then we form them within Prometheus and we redistribute as possible theses to be adopted first by students. And then we try also to have the adoption of his professor also, because a student alone might not do the job. But if a student has an interest, we will see how we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
12. Let's see how much time we have. Yeah, we have another 5 minutes and then we have a nice break. So let's try this one. Connect with funding, EU projects, VCs, business angels. I have my chat open now to see who is going to write I. So we ask you to stand up and support this idea or this aspect. In the meantime, the next says to support interdisciplinarity in projects. So with funding, we do not have someone to support, anyone to support the funding idea, because I saw it also in other expressions before.
Yeah, this was me.
Okay, Nikos, hello.
Yeah. Hello, this is Nikos Stefanakis from ERFC, which is also a member of the team.
Yes, you are a partner, yes.
Yeah. So I think it's very clear what my opinion has to do, that we have to connect all of that in the frame of the triangular knowledge that we want to support with the funding, with the money. So I think that the tool have to provide this connection, and how this ecosystem, the Prometheus ecosystem, can be connected direct with funding opportunities. I think that we are in this, we are working in this way. So I think it's very critical to provide this and to support this option.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, clear. It's something that we also need to take in mind. I have another that I like that will be maybe the last we're going to discuss in this session. Unless we start the next session and you are very clear on that you want all of them to be discussed, etc. That says on the right, as you see the red one, no other tools. So don't make other tools, someone says, but just build trust into the acceleration platform by relating it to standard business development tools rather than making a list of questions. So that says in the first phase of the competition, because this is now a test, this is now we're doing our test with students, but of course we're trying to see also what happens. This is how we did it before, I might say. So in this phase, it says this idea that I relate to. Do it with standard tools. Do the canvas in the first phase, for example. The first phase of the acceleration platform will be done with a canvas. Is that the meaning of your intervention, madam or sir?
Yes, hello.
Hello, Luke.
Hi. Calling in from the University of Twente.
Great.
I like the presentations a lot.
What is your specialization? What is your role in the university?
My role is I'm a professor in spatial planning and decision support systems.
Great.
And as one of the partners in the project, I'm investigating what my contribution could be.
Great. So what about this? You said, did I interpret it correctly?
I believe so. With these kind of new tools, it's important that people begin to trust these tools. And when I saw the presentation about this EAP, I thought, I recognize a bit of this, for instance, this business canvas. And then I thought, why not make that more explicit? Because it does build confidence in these tools, that they are, that they relate to standard business development tools. Whereas I got the impression of a long list of questions that I didn't see. Of course, in the top you see the subject matter, but I didn't see the relation there.
Not, yes, good. We can make that very apparent easily.
Yeah, and I think but the purpose is to be trust oriented.
Yeah. But let me ask you, what would be your guess or your suggestion for the second stage? Because the business model canvas is for the first stage of the idea, something that you can even share. But on the second stage, that you have to develop your financial projections, you have to develop your offering, you have to think about your marketing strategies. What would be your standard there?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look. I mean, this is an idea that I recognized for the first phase.
Yeah. Okay.
For the second phase, I don't have that readily available, but I think you'd have to do the same thing, yes.
I tried. Okay. Thank you very much, Luke.
All right. Welcome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are sharp in our break. And then, as we promised, and some of you wanted to stay and maybe you came later. Okay, so now we break, unless someone wants to stay, because there will be, there might be, if there is interest, during this for 15 or 10 minutes, let's say, to go a little bit deeper in any one of our ideas that we presented. You might want to see the knowledge tree of Prometheus, which is the detailed tree of all the aspects and the taxonomy of issues, for example. Or you might see something specific out of Prometheus. And I would urge firstly, of course, the non-partner representatives, the non-Prometheus participants of this information day. Let's have some of you, if you want to see something deeper during the break. The rest we can leave now and have a nice break. Now I give over to my friend Francesco, who will, is it okay, Francesco? Or not?
Yeah.
If you moderate the interest during the break, so basically you don't have a break.
No worries.
But you have a break after. I mean, after this 15 minutes, this already 14 minutes, you have a break, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have questions.
What you have seen so far is the toolkit that we have developed, and we started probably somewhere around August. So we did a huge amount of work until now. So we developed a toolkit that we consider as tools which are great to develop ourselves as a network in order to contribute to entrepreneurship and innovativeness capacities of universities together with companies. And then we consider this as a Prometheus network. So how can we build this network, and how can we understand the development and try to find out how to drive this network further to have more impact on what we are aiming at. So I already presented the University of Twente, but there are 3 faculties currently involved. And of course, each university has faculty. So it's a typical tech faculty, the business or science, behavioral business faculty, and a geo, information science and Earth observation faculty. So 3 perspectives. You could see it as tech, the Earth, and our behavior. So these are the 3 which are currently participating in this consortium. Formally, this is our role: how to enhance and strengthen a network like this, how to realize an exchange of knowledge and to collaborate with each other, and also with other highs, for instance, related who are already working together in the EIT KICS. And then, and of course, this is the main goal behind it, to have impact on digital transformations and circular economy. That's what we are aiming at: how to strengthen, to enhance the development of these kind of networks, exchange of knowledge, to realize entrepreneurship and innovativeness in the field of circular economy. In this presentation, we limit ourselves to 3 questions, because there are many questions that you can try to answer in order to make this happen, but in this case, only 3. And then, what are now typical activities that we could do as a consortium like this? What you have seen until now are the tools that we have, but of course, tools are nothing without the people who trusted each other and are committed to each other and can use these tools in order to realize this goal. So what can we do with these kind of tools? What kind of programs can we develop? Second, that is because one of the main goals behind our consortium is to get ourselves integrated in existing ecosystems, which are relevant for our goal, the circular economy. That's EIT Digital. If you don't know them, try to find them on the internet. They are quite critical, quite relevant also in the Horizon Europe programs, because they are one of the pillars which are used to build the green and digital Europe. So what are the activities that we can do? What are the EIT KICS currently doing? So how can we get as a network engaged in them? And then a third one, and that is probably quite interesting. That is that how can we develop ourselves as a network, and how can we understand this development as a network? So that is what we try to present here. First, of course, what are our activities, or what can be our activities? What we did is that we developed a knowledge exchange framework based on existing frameworks, of course. But if you look at what a typical framework for a network like this could be, as an example of just an innovation and entrepreneurship network, that is try to understand what your target groups are, what your goals can be, and also what your activities can be. So this is our framework that we use in order to think about how to develop ourselves as a network and have impact on the circular economy. So if you look at the target groups, they are not that elaborated upon yet, but just give an indication. Of course, we are focusing on students and professionals, but also on professionals and startups as a second layer, and as a third layer, looking at startups and scale-ups. And then when you look upon the goals that we have with these target groups is, of course, to get students and professionals engaged in a knowledge exchange related to digital transformation and circular economy. If you look at the professionals and startups, to realize the development of entrepreneurship and networked R&D programs, most of the tools that you've heard so far are referring to this, how to develop innovations and to develop entrepreneurship. And then if you look at startups and scale-ups, it is about to support entrepreneurship, innovation, but also acceleration, how to enable growth. But of course, then the third column is about the activities. For each target group and goal, we have a specific set of activities, and we go to develop these further, of course. But this is what we consider as a knowledge, as the Prometheus knowledge exchange framework, with the goal to develop local and regional entrepreneurial ecosystems in sustainability and circular. So this is what you could consider as our roadmap that we can choose, not yet a roadmap, but the overview of the activities that we could do in order to set up specific roadmaps in order to make our goal, our aim happen. Then the second one, of course, if we know what we can do, we also have to see, of course, what others do. In this case, we just looked upon the EIT gigs. So if you look at what currently the European innovation and technology communities do, this is an overview of what our counterparts offer. If you look at EIT Digital, EIT Manufacturing, they are doing all kinds of activities, and these are the ones that they do. So this gives us, based on our framework, an overview of activities that we as a network could be engaged in. So if you are interested in development of your own networks, of course, you can make use of our approaches and insights, also help us to improve these in order to develop your own ecosystems. But in this case, if we aim as a Prometheus network to become engaged in the EIT gigs, assuming that it contributes to our aim, then this is what we can look upon. We can try to get involved in the venture programs of EIT Digital, for instance, or in the hackathons or in the innovation days. And then, of course, there are many more activities that we can join, or that you can join as an organization. In this case, it is about our second row, so the development of entrepreneurship. All kinds of services, activities are going on that you can join. You can join them based on your Prometheus partnerships, but also as an ecosystem on your, developed by yourself. And this is a third one. If you want to build entrepreneurship and business innovation, these are the kind of services that are also available in the market that you can join, that you can make use of, and that might contribute to the building of entrepreneurship and development of business innovation. So this is a first analysis of existing activities that we could join as a Prometheus network, or that we could develop also as a Prometheus network in order to realize our aim, our goals that we have with our network. And then, of course, a second step is, if these are the activities that we can work on, how can we develop our network? Or more general speaking, how can you develop ecosystems. And then what we have done also in the past 4 months is to develop a specific monitoring platform to understand and to steer the development of such a network. And I will give a few examples of the strengths of such an approach. So we consider ourselves as a Prometheus network. We are many partners. We also have associate partners, but we also have partners that we are just working together with in joint projects, for instance. If there are so many things going on, how on earth can we understand the development and also steer the development? That's also a question that we aim to answer in our project. If you look upon a first view, and this is all based on the platform that we have and data from ourselves as partners. The data is just preliminary. It is just a data set that we collected in order to show the benefits of such an ecosystem approach. What you see here, for instance, is the current, what we then call ecosystems, ego networks of the partners in the Prometheus. On the left side, you see, for instance, the situation, the data we had in September, and on the right, you see the data we had in November. And of course, this is just preliminary data, but it shows one of the strengths of such a tooling that we can show after, for instance, 6 or 12 months, the development of our own ego networks as partners of the Prometheus network. What you see here, for instance, is that there are all kinds of algorithms behind it, of course, that based on this data, the University of Patras takes a more central role in the whole network than, for instance, in September. And the data still has to be fine-tuned, and we have to secure the data. So the data is not yet that great, but it gives an idea of how such a network tool could help us to understand the development. What you also see, for instance, the typical consortium partners for each university, and you can see for UCAM, for instance, that they are highly working together with NGOs. So that if you would like to connect yourself to NGOs, that you can contact then our partners in UCAM and see what NGOs they are connected with, how they work together with them. But of course, this is just one view to our network, to our ecosystem. Here is just another view. So the question that we want to answer in this one is, what are the activity communities in our network? It sounds a little bit complex, but if you look at what we have shown here, you see here all the partners and the associated partners of our network. Currently, they are not even, we haven't even added all to them yet, but just a collection of partners. And what you see in this one, that most of the current partners are involved in joint projects. But you can also see that some of them are only involved in joint projects. So if we want to have them involved also, for instance, in mentoring or in other kind of activities, then we can use such views to decide which partners to get involved in, for instance, mentoring activities or training activities. So a second aspect that you can see here is that the size of the nodes indicate what you could call the hub nodes. So if you see, for instance, here the NCD, also the National Center for the Development, on the right part of the network, we have even made them smaller. They are a typical network partner which are connected to all activity communities. So if we want to have a workshop in which we want to have various kind of partners involved in that workshop, then we should try to get them involved, because they are involved in almost all activity communities. So this is just a few of the network that can help us to try to find out what kind of activities should we do in order to strengthen, for instance, the connectivity of the network, or to build trust in the network, or to build commitment in the network. You can also see that if you look at the hub distribution, that there are quite quite a high number of nodes which are only connected to one activity. And of course, that weaknesses the strengths, the coherence of the network. So such a view helps us to understand what a current network is and what activities we can do in order to strengthen the network. This is another view. I won't spend too much time on networks because you can talk for hours about one of such a visualization. What you see here is that we have made a selection. We are only looking at the joint project partners. And then if you look at the joint project partners, you immediately see that there are isolates. That means there are quite some partners which are not yet involved in joint projects. So if we want to develop, if we want to strengthen the network, we should at least try to get them involved in next joint projects, because that we assume that in this way we also build a trust and a commitment in the network. So we contribute to the quality of our network. What the size is quite specific in this one. The size shows the connectedness. So the one which are really connected to others in this network. So if you want to have the ones who are really involved in many projects, then you know immediately, for instance, we have to go for the yes of the NCDO, because they are, according to this data, highly involved in all kinds of joint projects. You can also see, for instance, that probably we need a few more SMEs involved. The number of SMEs involved in our joint project is limited. So a next step in order to contribute to the quality of the network, try to get more SMEs involved in next joint projects. If you look at another view, this is also an interesting one. This is the level of the participation, again, in joint projects. But what we have done now is that we have the size of the nodes reflects the authority of the organizations. And the authority in this case is the algorithm behind it, is that it shows also the connectedness of a specific partner in the other activity networks. So the activity community, sorry. So if, for instance, this case, the city of Skopje, of the municipality of Karpos, apparently they are involved in joint projects, but don't underestimate them. They are really connected to also other very relevant partners. So if you want to have a partner in your project in order to make, well, to build the commitment of many other organizations in your joint project, for instance, go then for the ones who are quite well, in this case, with a high size of the node in a network like this. If you go, and I think this is the last one, so for the ones who really appreciate networks, of course, then we can spend hours on this, but in this case, we have a second activity. In this case, we're talking about mentoring. So what you see here is the mentoring network. So the organizations who are involved in mentoring activities, sorry. And then you see immediately it's a completely other kind of a network. A big pie is now very, very strong. So they're highly involved in mentoring. But you also see many isolates. And you can also see that the hub distribution, again, that there is not that we really should strengthen more the interrelatedness of the various partners in order to increase also, again, to this aspect of the quality of the network. So this is on the one of the goals is to build an ecosystem of the Prometheus network that has a high impact on local and regional circular economies. And what we do with such an approach is to see how we can understand each other as part of this network and what kind of activities we can come up with in order to build the quality of the network. We know what the activities can be. What we have in this networks are only a few of these activities, so mentoring, coaching, associate partnerships, so it's just a few, and we can add 15 or 20 or 30 of our activities to the network, of course, so we can constantly build on the data of our network, and based on that then ask the system all kinds of questions about what is our network, how can we understand it, and how can we build it. What we have as a platform is a live platform, so we can constantly add data to it, and you can immediately ask these kind of questions. We call them then, of course, dashboards to the network, and see what interesting next steps can be in order to build a network like this. In this case, to contribute to local and regional circular economies. So, what we are currently working on, of course, is based on this, is a plan for 2022 and 2023, how to develop ourselves as a network. So what are the activities, who are we, and what are the activities that, who should we get involved in these activities in order to build a network that has impact. And the second question that we try to answer is, based on these kind of insights, how to get us as a network, as an ecosystem, involved in the EIT kicks, for instance, InnoEnergy or EIT Digital, EIT Manufacturing, or what kicks we consider as relevant for the goal that we have, development of local and regional circular economies. So this is what we do in the next few weeks. These are the insights that we use in order to develop such plans. And of course, what you might have heard so far is that there is not a fixed plan for the next 2 years. But what we do is that we constantly monitor our own development and trying to find out what activities can we come up with, what kind of partners should get involved in such activities in order to contribute to our mission. And then this is what we aim to do, to build trust and commitment, because these are the critical characteristics of a successful network, and to implement these plans in 2022 and 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many things that I haven't said. There are many things that I have said. And the question on the moment is, of course, are there any questions? I can go to the chat.
There is a written question, shared. There is a written question on the chat.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, indeed.
I try to answer that, but you can add more on that.
How could we translate these network to trust? Translate to trust communication. This is trust and commitment. That's a theory behind it. It's from Morgan and Hunt, as far as I know. So the trust and commitment theory, that's critical. So all what we do is try to build trust and commitment, and then by strengthening a network like this. The data which is currently used in these visualizations are very limited. So we also have the data, of course, from all the other platforms, because we're going to share data based, of course, on all the rules and regulations that we have related to data sets. And so I'm myself from the communication science department. So it is a big question to answer, also because we are international. We started to know each other beginning May 2021. No, sorry, we started to write a proposal in March, Janus. I think in March 2021. Now, most of the partners know each other already for quite some time. We started to work on all the things that we have presented so far somewhere in August. So we did quite some work. in this presentations, we presented from inside out. So first we presented the tools, and then now it's about the network building. And I think that to be really an ecosystem, a Prometheus network that makes sense, we have to build further on trust and commitment. And then hopefully we can get various kind of data, we call them data pipelines, to see then also, can we say something about, because we are talking about the nodes and the edges, so the nodes and the relationships. So can we also add, for instance, aspects, data related to, for instance, trust building? It's a difficult one, but probably an essential one. Any other questions?
I try to answer that by saying that by realizing actually projects is a proof that this communication effort will work and do some really substantial things. So by starting actual projects is a proof that we are on the right direction. Right?
Yeah, I think also, Apostolos, it is that it is so the realization of running projects, and maybe also an interesting indicator could become that is the legacy of the projects. So that each time that we finish a project, there is a clear, interesting next step in which we make use of a typical innovation, realized new businesses, or are able to continue further cooperation. But you are right, this is a very relevant indicator. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we assume, and that's then the last words, Janus, we hope that we can develop such a network building approach that we can realize it in such a way that we can also use it for other networks, so that we as the Prometheus network also can offer a service to others, how to build your network successfully.
Set an example.
Okay.
Janus, the floor is yours.
I suppose that was a call for me, which I cannot deny, I am afraid, because you see, Zoe would run the session today, the second part. But unfortunately, as I said to some of you at the very beginning, we had a hit of the virus. Not the virus, but a virus. And Zoe is a little bit not available these days. So we had to organize a little bit different, but that involves me having the flow in the second part. Now, so this is the final, let's say now, we're going towards the final session by means of we showed you some things about Prometheus. If we remember, we showed you first some platforms. Let me share my screen in the meantime. Just a moment. Okay. Can you see now? Okay.
Yes,
Can
we
someone?
can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So let's summarize a bit now. Short from University of Twente, and of course, on behalf of the whole consortium and the work we do, as you understand, showed you how we can somehow engage together. One of it is to become, as an organization first, an associate partner. But as I told you before, we will summarize sooner or later. We also want you to act as individuals, like a possible mentor, someone from the industry that, okay, he doesn't go now to declare the needs of his organization in this ecosystem, but he would nicely offer a couple of hours to say a few comments on a draft business model canvas, on an idea that falls directly on what he's studying right now. for example. So mentors could be there. That involves all of you. You are senior people. I suppose most of you having something to share. And this is pro bono. We might, although, have in the future some needs in this area. I'm not sure what will happen. And the other issue is about members of faculty. So we showed you these 5 platforms, and you see the network databases for organizations, and then the rest are for everyone, including organizations. And maybe for the moment, the collaborative aspect is our entrepreneurship acceleration platform. This is what connects everyone. You can connect as a student. So we already have like 150 students connected there. This is from the consortium and not yet all of it in the acceleration platform. And we might have also 100 ideas sooner or later. And then we have this PIFIA style intelligent assistant saying, yes, this is a strong point of your proposal, and this is a not so strong point. We will have our training platform within next year to contribute something in this crossing of digital transformation and sustainable development, knowledge base, and the network, and of course the whole network database, but also the privileges of the network. So this is a part of our offering. Now, a second part of our offering, one could be, okay, maybe we're not there yet for all of them, but this is what we're working towards. So the idea of entrepreneurial teaching curricula would be a nice opportunity for collaboration, meaning we will set up we had already have a simple standard for how to present a program or a course, and we have applied on our own, and we are going to develop, we are 8 partners, how many you think? Maybe 10 modules of what we are thinking. And this will serve, let's say, and still will not be enough for a whole, maybe, course, lesson, as we say sometimes, collection of lectures for a whole semester for one subject. Okay. Maybe it would be less than 10 ECTS. So this is our teaching curricula and material. We have also the Entrepreneurial University Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. This is something we have not yet anything to present. But if you come closer with us, this will start next year, early next year. So we are to develop a small framework, simple, but automatically as possible, generated and filled in the way somehow to show progress. Of course, it will be under the HEI initiative, the HEI innovation framework. That may be in our second information day somewhere in March, we might also present to you. In the meantime, of course, if you come closer, you would know as of tomorrow. And then we have this other idea that Michalis talked in the morning, this challenge-based method for entrepreneurship. So this will be a collection of the challenges, of course, but also the whole idea of how we can turn a university into a more challenge-based organization. But this will require some question from your side if you want it explained further. Then we have some events and activities. So this is part of our offering, meaning we plan now already, I will present later on this Digital Innovation Entrepreneurship International Summer School. This will be a 1-week competition, summer in Samos, we hope. And also some other things that are coming. We have started already thinking about a vocational education program for entrepreneurship in sustainable economies, but not also entrepreneurship, vocational education in the whole area of digital transformation of SMEs and sustainability measures and things like that. And maybe also we have started very, very briefly thinking about a master program, a joint master, but it has to be something very innovative, both as a content, but also as a structure, you see, because there are so many masters. Yes, so completing the offering, this is what I'm presenting to you. You see, we jumped somewhere here, but the actual thing is the offering. So I present to you, we have the platforms, we can offer them to you. We have some methodologies, some of them ready, some of them coming. We have some events that are coming. We have some other opportunities for collaboration, maybe, you know, organize internships. We are already piloting them among the 5 universities, 1 company and 2 research centers we have, one way or another. You see, mentoring, we are developing a lot of ideas currently for financing. Maybe if we have a question on financing, what we do on funding and financing, we can share with you if you want, but you have to ask for it. Visits of academic staff, yeah, let's see now with coronavirus every now and then, the visits are just Zoom sessions for the moment. Co-supervision of PhD students, yes. I mean, as far as we keep the ownership of the organization that actually approves the PhD, we have no problem. Joint PhDs is a different process. We also think of joint PhDs in the future. Research and development activities, we have started working already on some common projects, you know, evolving new project ideas, you know, accelerating ourselves a little bit, I would say. Of course, you would also have some access. I don't know how privileged it will be, but of course, whenever we have something ready, you will know before. You will be in our close mailing list, let's say, external to the project. Of course, that will entail 1 email per month, something like that. You get from us. Other activities within the scope of promotion innovation, yes, and we are open. This is what we are saying. Now the project moves from the first phase, the pilot phase, that we have reasons to believe we have outperformed, but we will see that. And then we move towards the second phase that is for another 18 months now. So this will last until summer of 2023. Okay. But we plan already for 2022. And now I will have the chance also to say a few words about that. So this is our offering. This is what we call you. We call every organization which is interested. You might even share this call. Panagiotis from Crowd Policy, Hinanli. Maybe we share later with this report. Maybe we share also a link for someone who wants to become an associate partner, so that it will be one-click process. You know, I want to become, okay, have a look at the MOU. So the MOU is like that, is already standardized, and it has been signed already by more than 30 organizations. And it says that this is the offering, the things I said before about pursuing opportunities for this. We open our tools, our methods, our processes, and our plans for activities. We might even do better prices, I don't know, for that. So anything that would give you the opportunity to feel you are a member of the network. There is no price for that. This will be a limited, okay, we said 2 years, if there is no problem, just to have it for the whole duration. And it's an easy signature for many of you. Okay, it says that it cannot draw any important legal request of any nature. I mean, we have to do that, and we want to do that. But if nothing happens, there is no one that can be blamed, really. Okay, knowing, of course, the failure would be nice as soon as possible, of course. So it's an easy MOU, and we have already been piloting with several companies, organizations in the public sector also around the offerings of Prometheus. So the time is already 17:30, so we don't have so much time. I will just go briefly then to the 2 main things that will happen. So we go towards the next phase, but before that, let's have some kind of animation in our meeting. Now, my colleague Apostolos, are you here?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Apostolos, if you don't mind, I will just share the slides and
yes, say a few words about
a few words. So
about
Apostolos is a member of our team in University of the Aegean, not a student right now, but who knows. And Apostolos, you take the floor. You open maybe your video.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
We used to open the video, but if there's no video.
Yeah, okay. Here we explore the name Prometheus, how we what can we derive from this from the ideas that Prometheus, what it was all about in the mythology, because it's a mythological personality, and if you explore the writings and what sources we have, where we understand that Prometheus actually is about the enlightenment of humankind, of humanity. And it's really what you see in the second slide, because it's only 2 slides in the presentation. It was at his time a leap of faith. So it's a fascinating story about how happened actually the civilization. So Prometheus was, in the Greek and Roman mythology and religion, was one of the titans, the old deities, and was actually the supreme innovator. It's amusing that at his time he was the first in history, because he stole one precious element from the god, which was the fire, and of course he was terribly, but he became the fire. So intellectually, his name actually means, in the ancient Greek, has the meaning of the forethinker, and somebody who was really intelligent and able to solve problems. So he was actually a master craftsman. He was able to work wonders at the time, and he was associated with a fire that he stole actually from the gods to bring it to the humankind, to people. And by fire, people were able to create the tools of life. Everything what was at the time, the processing of steel and everything. And finally, he gave the gift of education of people, which is actually our effort to, to continue his legacy. So I think it's a really fascinating story, a very symbolic personality, a good paradigm of innovation, and that's what we are hopefully trying to do around our Prometheus of 2021 and 2023.
Okay, thank you, Apostolos. I have to tell you that Apostolos is with us as an expert in financial markets, and as a long time now investment consultant in the international market. So now he gives us his views and his powers to develop what we are thinking is coming. Is a small, not very big, but very important. It's a small fund we are trying to think about how to develop, and we already have some impact in the discussions to develop a fund for Prometheus, but in what sense? Of assisting this level of proposals that, we have our students, and then we have our master students. Maybe also we have a research team in information, and they develop something, but they need a little bit of seed financing, no commitment, no obligation funding. For some of my students, it's like 1,000 euro. For others, it can be at the level of 5,000. So we're thinking in the Prometheus project to put our own money first and say, for every penny that is coming from outside the project, up to a point, of course, because we're not extremely rich, up to a point of a few thousands by means of 20, for example, or 40 even, we can match also relevant
contributions.
Yes, relevant contributions. We have, for example, interest from the public sector, from municipalities that want to have an innovation agenda. So they say, look, if you, within this big competition, if there is someone especially competent in this and this, and it can also have to do with a region maybe, then we can have him as first in this project, in this award. So this way, we have the way also to fund, you know, several proposals, but at this stage of the early stage, where the idea it's going to flicker and die if you don't put light. You see, at the moment that if you don't amass some funding and maybe you don't put a good mentor around it, it will probably fail. But if they have the money to develop their MVP and do an initial, at least, marketing plan, but a serious one with a serious company behind, then okay, we can see. You see, so we saw this as a luck, and that's why also we are here, because it's not only the money that you get at the level of 200,000 euro. It's also the first light that you need at the level of 5 or 10,000 euro. That, of course, if it's 10,000 and maybe also more, we will not give away as such. But we will also ask for some, projections and some month by month or semester by semester, let's say, payments, or month by month payment according with the progress. Okay. Yes. Apostolos?
No, I don't have much to add, but we might progress on that, and by testing the first tool and create something like fund for funding scale up operations, which I believe from my discussion there is an interest in that, because it covers a gap between the seed capital and the private equities, in Greece at least, and I believe in other countries. So there is a potential to work on that.
Okay. So if we are asked, we can come back into the funding and financing ideas we have. Then let's go now to something towards the end of this meeting, something that involves, that will happen in next year. We think it will happen. So from March to November, we say 2022, we will hold the Prometheus project. We have the facilities and the infrastructure for that. We will create now this, we will launch this international online and on-site, as time goes, international competition on student ideas mainly, but as you will see also for more than just students, acceleration and contest, as we say. So it will be an acceleration phase, and then there will be the contest. And actually there will be also a small competition in the way, like a boot camp. So this is the international competition we will launch. We will already started gaining something in the parts of the benefits, some seed financing, as I said before. What is the best? The first 10 proposals will get some seed financing. We can accommodate them. I can accommodate my 10 best proposals, but why not competing in a way with another 10 of your students and another 10 of your students? You see, why not? You can just enter. This will be launched early next year. And then you'll see the timeline later is quite relaxed, because it's an acceleration phase and then it's a final contest. So first we have to accelerate. Now the awards will be at the end. They will have some publicity, of course, depending on the level of excellence, further mentoring during the progress, angel investment also. Sometimes the end is that a very interested mentor, this has happened before, a very interested mentor is the first angel investor of this company, with a discussion that we like to happen, but we don't run ourselves. If we are asked, we can, be part, but this is not the point. Further training and networking. So the participation will be online first, as we said. So we have a first target of to have 100 first stage proposals. As you see, there will be 2 stages. So now we have started already. We showed this morning, earlier this afternoon, we showed these 25 proposals that we have already. And we think that by March, April, May, we will have reached the status of 100 proposals just within the Prometheus, community right now. But of course, if you join, we can make this 100, we can make 200 or even more. The system supports first, and of the competition, I mean, it's an international thing. We just have to make sure that we have the right amount of mentors. But of course, we start as Prometheus partners with like 100 mentors. So we will have some already people around it. And of course, the Prometheus community, all these companies you have seen and more, they will have some access to the proposals, not the full details or the patents or the full closed ideas, because these will be covered by an NDA. But, if the team wants to share something more, we will play the mediator role easily. Actually, you can do that through the platform somehow. So the contest for students, 1 category, individually or in groups, etc., all types of students of the universities of Europe. Research teams, so formed research groups of members of the community, European University, PhD, somebody who will present something that is already based on some research results. We saw this for more progressed proposals that can, enter the whole stage from a different level. That was Apostolis saying before. And finally, also, we keep around an eye on citizen and citizen science experiments, because this will be also a citizen science kind of experiment, to have the citizens also contribute with ideas, because we're talking about a cross of digital transformation and sustainability. So when citizens go with digital tools to compete or to run or to tackle sustainable development goals, then we call that a part of citizen science, and a very important one. So we have these 3 teams, and then we have the subjects that will be around, as I said, digital transformation, circular economy. There are a lot here. We can send you the presentation in your packets at the end and in the next days, and then you have them all here before. But you will still have time, because it will be launched in February, we hope. And then from there, we'll have the final deadline. But we think that it goes in 2 stages. You see June, the first stage. It would be nice to have 100 proposals finally submitted here, maybe 200, 300, why not? And then a second stage that involves only the ones that have been deemed as important from a first stage, as interesting, actually, not important. All of them may be important, but interesting for us and what we do. And then we go for a second stage after summer, you see. And then this is the acceleration now phase, that we have the mentoring phase and some training we can jointly give them from Prometheus, we think. And then submission of the business plan, selection of the business plan, formation of the teams that will proceed to the final stage that supposedly, now we're talking a year from now, it can be somewhere like a historic city. I say Rome the first, because I know Antonio and Francesco would somehow like that at a certain point, or Athens or anything else.
Of course.
Okay, great.
Sure.
So that's the one initiative. So we inform you, it will be there. It's not there yet, but we keep your emails and we will send you an update when it comes alive. As I said, not more than 1 mail per month. If you don't like it, then you'll say, I don't like it, and you don't even get that. But we try to be interesting and not, boring. The second thing we are already planning is the summer school We call it this year the Samos Bootcamp. Now, I don't know about Prometheus and his relation to bootcamps, but this is going to be held in July, and it is a week that it is a small competition. It's like, you know, a pre-competition for the big one. But you come there and you get into an environment that involves also other types of students that they have ideas even at a very earlier stage sometimes. So it's a kind of competition again with mature or not so mature ideas, but the ones that are going for the final stage in the Prometheus competition should be there or could be there. And then this is an open summer school. We have, you know, admission process, and we cannot host so many people. Typically, the size is limited to 30 students. But also there are like another 20 professors coming in, going, you know, assisting here, becoming mentors there. Usually is a team of 50 that run the school. This year, we have even facilities for a little bit more because we think that COVID will not be a problem. And we have a hotel that can accommodate even more than that. Collaboration, interactivity, as we said, yeah, this is done there. You can come with nothing in your mind. Only you can come with a free idea or a developed one. The system we apply accommodates everyone, okay, accordingly. Then we have in this week, we have spread educational and mentoring sessions, teamwork sessions, presentations and judging, awards ceremony, because it will be a separate award. You don't get, you know, monetary award. You get just a nice reminder that you get kind of the best paper award, that you get the best idea. Now, this is to be held in Samos, July the 11th to 15th. Okay, it will soon, the registration or the pre-registration or the information site will be available very soon. Okay, presentations.
I guess George will be really, really enthusiastic about that because he stresses the, you know, how to have impact and communicate better. So this is an opportunity to communicate at a better level.
Yes. Yes. So now we are still missing presentations, no presentations, just to say your names. And since you came also here today and we share the same project. So University of Aegean is covered, Twente is covered, Sapienza is covered, Patras is covered, Kyrillos, Radmil. Are you here?
Hello, Yanis, I'm here. Radmil.
Valentina is that.
Can I tell something, some words about our partnership in this project? Yes?
Yes, say a few words about your team. And
okay. Yes, St. Cyril and Methodius University participate in this Prometheus consortium with one faculty and one institute, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Institute of Economics. We are part of each project work packages, but we not as a leader of no one work package. We actively participate in realization of each task, each project task and work package task. And as a partner of consortium, we contribute related to all main project pillars. How to say, we with our relevant experience for entrepreneurial and innovative dimension in higher education, we are a very relevant partner in the project consortium. We are have also high contribution related to the circular economy and sustainability. And as a frame at all, we participate in all area of digital dimension of Prometheus vision and participate in this digital transformation, how to say. We are up to our competencies is smart manufacturing and smart transformation tools for all, more or less for all other activities. We are competent for that as a partner institution in the project. Also, we are very active in building ecosystem around us. With networking, the businesses, the startups, and other relevant members from our environment, and at least connect them in this our Prometheus ecosystem. How to say, we are dedicated to Prometheus Network vision, which is related to how to contribute to the society. We have very high level of the that contribution to the society. It means we, as a project network, have intention to build a new dimension of contemporary universities around Europe. It is the main mission of this putting in the application of this Prometheus project. We call Prometheus Entrepreneurial University Model as a new dimension in order to become an environment with developed innovative services and entrepreneurship spirits. We are very happy to have the University Twente in our consortium because they are really at the one of the first places in this dimension around Europe, how the Stuart mentioned in his presentation. Yes. And in the end, we believe that we will succeed in the building of successful network, Prometheus community, sustainable in the future. we are a very dedicated project partner.
Yes, yes. I have to say that, you know, every project partner is a kind of Jenga module. So if you take out the University of Macedonia, of Kirill and Methodius in North Macedonia, the Prometheus proposal would not have been made because it was one of the constraints of this very strange call was to have this type of partner and then this type of partner and from this type of country and from this type of the market. So each one of us is very important to the project, otherwise Prometheus is falling apart. But nevertheless, of course, we plan a lot and we're looking forward to also starting the real visits inside the consortium.
Yes, yes.
And, moving a little bit higher, thank you, Valentina. Moving a little bit higher in the Balkans, we also have Claudio from IBA.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Claudio. If you want me to show something, you can post it in the chat.
Honestly, I'm driving in this moment, but I can manage if it is okay with the presentation, a verbal presentation of our partnership. As you said and Valentina said, every partner in this consortium, it is very, very important. So we are the research pillar in the consortium. I'm representing the Bioresources Institute, the Food Bioresources Institute from Romania. And inside the Prometheus, we bring the knowledge of the link with industry, the added value of innovation brought by the industry, In the same time, being part of one of the biggest and newest research infrastructures in Europe, the Metro Food, we have the experience how to develop the research infrastructure networks, and I have the feeling that this will bring a good asset to our project. And in the same time, we are not leading any work package, but we are present in all activities of the project. One of the main objectives of Prometheus is digitalization and circular economy, and in this respect, it comes very, how to say, it comes very close to one of our strategies to bring digitalization in the farm to fork sector.
Thank you, Claudio. I have been sharing also a part of your website with all the offerings and your patents. You have so many patents.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have so many patents in IBA.
Yes, that's why we are a research institute. We usually bring the research to technology.
Okay, that's good. So it's time for our last question, I think, because let me go back, unless there is any objection into that. Let me go back to the agenda and try to make it so that we close up, and we have 4 minutes, 3 now, with a final question. Because we presented the network building, we presented our MOU, and we presented our offering, and we will presenting also the roadmap for 2022, what to expect from us. If you have any question, now is the time, but you have been asking quite some in the chat, I think. So we move to the last, which is the wrap-up and the closing comments. Now, for the wrap-up and the closing comments, let me tell you the following. I will use half a minute for that. Prometheus, we have to admit now, with Prometheus, we're moving towards some, idea of the university of tomorrow. Something which is more entrepreneurial, then it's more based on digital tools. It's more challenge-based. It's more sustainability-oriented. And we try to gather these ideas. So, Michalis, can you post the link to the next exercise and final for today? Exercise on the Menti. Now, I follow the Menti as Michalis sent, and it says, how the university of tomorrow would look like for you in one word. So I would say entrepreneurial, and I will say more after, but then I will close my screen. Entrepreneurial. If you put it correctly, then it will become as a wordle. We want to make a wordle of what it looks like. So we still have 45 people, and let's see your words. You can put one, submit it, how the university of tomorrow would look like in one word for you. What is the aspect that you want to show, to have? You can put, I think, again, no, you can put as many as you want in one answer. So be careful when you answer to have all the 3, if you want more than one, to put them in the same sheet, in the same form. And then you put submit, and that's it. I put submit now, it's over for me. I only voted for entrepreneurial. So I'm stop sharing. Michali, how many answers we have already?
6 answers. 8.
6. Okay, let's do 26. First, I call the partners. I call University of Twente, my friend Short, because this is collective wisdom now. Is the result of our meeting. This is a very open-ended question. What is the feature that you would like the university of tomorrow, your idea of your university, for example, in 2030, 2040, what will be the main 3 things that you would like it to have?
Well, there are always many words that we can use, of course, but I would first use the word impact-driven, so that we really work on impact. Second, that we are engaged in lifelong learning. It's terrible that students leave our university. They should be there forever. And the third one is that we learn ourselves. Universities don't learn that well. We stick to the same way that we have always done it, and we don't change. So we should become learning universities, learn ourselves.
Yes, yes. Let's see now. Michalis, share the answers. Share the screen. And this is our last screen for today because the time is already 7 o'clock. Now.
Okay.
Okay, let's see that. It's being reformed as real time now. Yes, we said 26 we need.
Yeah.
Innovative, entrepreneurial, sustainable, impact-driven, digital, networking, yeah, global, digitalized. Let's see something that we haven't been thinking. Holistic, insightful, okay. Student-friendly.
Insightful is the global.
Thanks, Apostolos. Global innovation, sustainable. Okay, we are innovative, entrepreneurial, and sustainable. We have in the title of our projects. Let's think how we can, of course, deliver on that and not just be there. But this might give me some ideas. Okay, we might come back on that.
Very nice idea, Yannick.
Yes, yes. We might come back on that very later through a written communication, but let's leave that for the moment. But I want you to take that going home or going to your other business or pleasure for the day, that we are open, and that was a call for participation. You can go through our website and immediately or send us an email to participate and come closer, as I said. This is at the first time is no objection, no commitment, no obligation. But this way we can do something within the semester with any project ideas, or we might plan the next semester for some of the common development of ideas and things like that. Okay, maybe as we finish, if there is any question, Michalis will stop sharing now, and Panagiotis, without talking, will just share at the background information and extracts and moments from this project for the last 5 months now that we have been working. So you are excused to go, unless first you have any question you want to answer. You want answered right now. Panagiotis, you can share the screen, yes, and just give us in your own time, give us some views from what is happening in the social media. If you want, also you can talk. You are welcome. Let's see if we have any question.
Just a brief image from our website.
Yeah.
The project in brief. You can always follow our news with content from our project, from EIT communities and funding. You can always subscribe to our newsletter in order to periodically receive our Prometheus updates. Just an example of the first newsletter that was rolled out just before the info day we did today. Just a quick scroll. You can also visit all of our social media official accounts, Hey Prometheus, on Facebook, Twitter. The most populated is on LinkedIn.
Yeah, we would like you to help us in LinkedIn and Facebook, because we have very, very hard KPIs by EIT on that. And for you, it's simple to follow us in LinkedIn and in Facebook, to put a like there. Because unfortunately, somehow these metrics very soon, very fast, I don't know what, became kind of a standard metric for this kind of approaches. So just copy the link for LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. Okay, but Panayotis, show us some action, show us some meetings, some real engagement. Show us money. Now, for the ones that don't know money, yes.
With the 8 manufacturing presence here. Our first kickoff meeting took place in Athens. We were quite fortunate to assemble all together.
For a moment, yeah. That was in Athens in late September, and we had a chance to do the meeting in a hotel by the sea. And this is the core team of Prometheus. This is like 3 persons per partner approximately, when we have partners with even 10 persons at some stages. Okay, I think we move towards the end. We are already there. We're already past the end, and still we have 40 people. So you enjoy Prometheus and our crazy stories about ancient Greece, Twente, and making the world a better place. So we thank you all. We are here for you, and we are behind our emails and our lines of communication. And as we said, we will be discussing our next opportunity now in the next year. That hopefully will be better. And but if you want to already start thinking about Samos, coming or becoming a mentor or coming with a team, or asking us for some support for coming, maybe share your ideas. We have an eye which is a listening eye. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming, and wish you the best. Take care. You can open your microphones now if you want to.